Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the show. I am Brett the Jet in the booth here tonight with the Turn 3 Racing Network for the full race replay of the 802 Next Gen Cup Series presented by the Riptide Radio. This, of course, was raced on Sunday night, but myself, we caught whatever that was going around here for this springtime sickness, so we were not feeling up to the task. Wanted to give you guys and the racers the quality broadcast that it deserves, so here we go on a Thursday night, checking out these guys and seeing what we can have, because here tonight we're in for a good one. It's 200 laps here at the Bristol Motor Speedway for the ShowTime 200, and of course, with it being the ShowTime 200, that means one thing if you watched seasons before of the Riptide Radio drivers. It is a special paint scheme tonight. Two cars, or let's say two things that we can watch on the screen. So any sort of TV shows, movies, and we'll see some of those special schemes out here tonight. But heading on over into qualifying here tonight, it looks like, I believe, the 8 machine of Matthew Taylor. First car to the racetrack here, so we will keep an eye on Taylor as he will already fly out onto the speedway, head to the start-finish line, and Taylor takes the green flag here tonight at Bristol. And I don't know if folks you notice here watching at home, but Bristol has a revamp. iRacing finally updating the walls and how it looks, and I tell you what, looks a little bit better here. I like what they did. Hopefully they keep it on up. But Taylor, first lap for the 8, it looks like 14.63. We'll see if he picks up time here on lap number 2. It looks like he will not. So Taylor stays at that mark right now. Quick time is the 97 machine of Jeff Pogo. Pogo's first lap, a 4.2. That time, though, got a piece of the wall, so that will end Pogo's try here. As now we take a look at the 2 machine. This is Nick Larson. Larson here, lap number 1, good enough for P number 3 here. For lap number 2, Larson does not improve, just a smidge. So I want to say 100th off of his best time there for Larson, but a great qualifying effort. Now we head to Christian Delgado out here tonight, getting that car up to speed. Delgado here on his first time lap here. Brandon Guerin, last week's winner, super slow lap for the one as Delgado goes second quick here. So Delgado on an absolute flyer here, able to jump up to the outside of the front row. Can he walk away with the pole? Delgado at the stripe, not quite good enough. 14.49 for lap number 2. Now Rob Lowell on lap number 1 goes a 4.4. So that will steal the outside front row from Delgado and give it to the Vegas Vacation number 21 machine. As wow, Lowell will just sneak away with the pole award there, just beating out Jeff Pogo for the quick time here tonight. So a great effort there from the 21 machine. I believe we only have, I think only 2 more cars yet to take a lap. That of course being Tiffany Ellis and then Justin Branaham. We take a look here at Branaham. Ellis first lap looks like 15.39. Branaham 15.46. Branaham will get a big piece of the wall there off of turn number 2, so that'll probably be the end of that for Branaham. As yes, it is. Branaham looks like we'll walk away 17th. So I think that will do it mostly for the qualifying time. So we have to give a big shout out to this guy right here in the special Toontown Award. Walking with, I believe, I have to double check the stats here really quick just to make sure. As yeah, this makes it Rob Lowell's second quick time of the season. And that actually ties him with the most. We now have a 4-car tie with 2 pole positions here between 4 different drivers. All of them, of course, walking away with some Leaf Guard sponsorship money. So big shout out to Leaf Guard coming on board, handing out a little bit of a prize before we take the green flag for the quick time. So once again, congrats to the 21 machine of Rob Lowell, walking away with the quick time here tonight at Bristol. Alrighty, folks, 200 laps coming on up here in just one moment. Let's head down trackside and go through tonight's starting order for the Toontown 200. Excuse me, the ShowTime 200. Already getting the names wrong. I knew I'd say it. There's the one slip up already. Here we go, down trackside. So here we go, folks. Lineup looks like the following. The 21 machine of Rob Lowell leading the field to green, walking away with his second Leaf Guard pole award of the season. Starting to his outside will be the 31 machine. That is Christian Delgado. Rolling off P number 3 will be the 97. That is Jeff Pogo, our current points leader. To Pogo's outside, rolling off P number 4 will be the 6 car. That is Johnny Barker. Rounding out the top 5 of the starting order here tonight is the 62. That is Frank Zingen. Then to Zingen's outside, rolling off P number 6. That is Nick Larson piloting the orange number 2. Then we head back to row number 4, starting to the inside in P number 7. That is the 46 of Eli Raposa. To Raposa's outside here, rolling off P number 8 will be car number 8. That is Matthew Taylor starting 8th. Starting in the 9th position, that is the 42 of Dustin Coggins. Rounding out the top 10 will be Dan Dill in that 81 machine. Then just outside of the top 10 in P number 11, that will be the 69 of Chris Taylor. Starting 12th will be Stephen Holmes in the number 90. 13th going to Brandon Guerin, last week's winner in the number 1. Dylan Jacobs in the 88 machine will roll off 14th. 15th going to Tiffany Ellis in the 99. Justin Branham will roll off 16th in the 58th. And then it is John Buell in the 47 machine starting shotgun on the field here tonight. So that would do it here tonight for the starting order. As the field here this time by, we'll get the 1 to go signal, and then we will turn these guys loose for 200 laps here tonight at Bristol. So here we go. We get ready to rock and roll. 17 cars taking the green flag action here. We will have to see how it all shakes on out. But we'll take a far view to the field as here we go. 21 of Roblo leads the field down to green flag, and we are racing here at Bristol. Side by side for the race lead as they drag race off at turn number 2. One car sideways in the back. That looks like the 62 of Frank Zingen. Zingen goes on around here early, and that will bring out the first caution flag of the night. As it looks like Zingen just got loose down the backstretch there. I believe collecting a piece of Matthew Taylor. Yeah, Taylor has some damage on that car. Looks like the 88 of Dylan Jacobs having a little piece of it as well. Dan Dill, also another car involved. You saw his nose having a little bit of damage. So a few of the ShowTime cars here with some damage here early, as it looks like Taylor, Branham, and Zingen all down on pit road. Everyone else going to stay on out. As with this being a race replay broadcast, caution counter does get broken. So every time we have a caution, just look to see if the tower is, of course, shrunk, let's say, as well as if there's some yellow stripe on that thing. Even though it says 0 caution, it's technically the first here tonight. So under the first caution flag here on lap number 1, involving contact between the 62 and the number 8 machine down the backstretch. I believe at most only 4 cars getting some sort of damage in that one, and looks like most of them able to get their cars repaired. If not, the 8, looks like the 8 did not use a quick repair. The 62 may have used one here. As it looks like Delgado actually beat Lowell in the drag race. So it's Delgado, Lowell, Barker, Pogo, and then Larson rounding out the top 5. So we will re-rack them, restack them, double file it on up, and get ready to go back green here. Delgado now in control of the restart here tonight. So front row, Delgado and Lowell. As we once again wait for the iRacing pace car make the hard left-hand turn down pit road. It will do that, so now Delgado in control. Will wait, fire on off, get a great restart. Delgado is able to check out in front, get to about a 4-car length advantage, if not more, already almost up to a second gap here as he fired out of a cannon here tonight. So now Johnny Barker looking to the inside of the 21, can't get it done. The 21 machine now high side hustling here at Bristol. Got that thing wound on up. Jeff Pogo trying to make his way back through the field here. Lost a couple of spots on the start. Now trying to work over the number 2 machine. As right behind them, they have Dustin Coggins, Eli Raposa. Those guys holding their own as well. Further on back, we have Matt Taylor looking to get around Chris Taylor. Matt down low, Chris up top here. Battle for the 13th position here. As Matt's trying to get back some of those spots he lost being involved in that first caution. Able to walk around the 69 machine on the inside lane here. And here at Bristol, under 15 second laps here, folks. So, as you guys can tell, even in that short amount of time, already 11 laps into this 200 lap race. So, even though 200 laps may seem like a very, very long distance, it's going to go by pretty quick. Head back up to the front here. Dustin Coggins keeping Jeff Pogo honest here, about a quarter of a second back and kind of hanging right there. Now closing on the gap, now to about a car length on back for the 42 machine. Coggins looking very strong. He has right behind him Eli Raposa keeping him honest, as well as Stephen Holmes. So these guys all doing a great job here. But like I said, Christian Delgado checking on out here in front. He's trying to run away and hide. The question is he using up too much of his tires here early? As everyone's starting to spread on out just a little bit. We're going to ride on board with Johnny Barker, looking back to the rest of the field behind him here as we look towards the nose of Nick Larson. You can see how close people are already getting into the wall. You know, 15 laps into this race, Jeff Pogo already ripping that outside safer barrier, trying to bring it on down. So these guys not holding anything back. No one's running the bottom. No one's saving any sort of tire, it seems like. And you can hear just how much throttle time these guys are in the throttle, let's say, especially ripping that high side here tonight. As a tenth of the way down here, Jeff Pogo looking to the inside of Nick Larson. I think Larson had a bit of a bobble there on this lap here. Looks like Larson will concede the spot, so that moves Jeff Pogo up into fourth. Dustin Coggins trying to take over P number 5. He will be able to do so. Coggins will clear himself most definitely off of turn number 4. Will get back up to the high side as Pogo and Coggins have driven away from Stephen Holmes, who has been able to get around the 46 of Eli Raposa. Further on back, Chris Taylor has recaught Matthew Taylor, so that will flip the Taylors back to Chris in 13th, Matthew in 14th. Of course, you can see the damage on the nose of that number 8 car. That's definitely not helping his case. A little bit further up the track here, Brandon Guerin, last week's winner, in a pretty intense battle here with the number 47 machine. Right now, John Buell, the biggest mover of the race, up 6 spots just outside of the top 10 here tonight. Further up front, though, Stephen Holmes able to get around Nick Larson easily. Has Larson got an issue? Has he got the wall too hard, or did he just burn up those tires way too quickly here, folks? we'll keep an eye on it. But right now it looks like Larson about 3 to 2/10 of a second off the pace compared to the cars around him. That time only a 1/10 and a half, so not as bad, but Nick Larson definitely bleeding a lot of time here pretty early in this race. Further up to the front, though, we might have a battle for the race lead before we know it. Christian Delgado has led these first 30 laps, but it looks like the pole sitter trying to get those spots back, as here comes the 21 machine. Rob able to run the top side very, very well. This time going to run the middle bottom there in 1 and 2, try and mix it up just a little bit. Back into turns 1 and 2. We'll go back to the high side. Delgado rocking and rolling around this inside lane here. So at first we saw guys ripping the top. Now maybe starting to search, try and find the cool concrete here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Also battle a little bit further on back. Brandon Guerin has been able to get around the 81 machine of Dan Dill, as well as the 47 of John Buell. So Brandon Guerin looking pretty sporty here as the run continues to develop. Eli Raposa has been able to hang on to that 7th position right where he started. He is able to continue to drive away from Nick Larson, as Larson still struggling for pace here at Bristol as this run goes on. Further on back here, going to be a 4-car battle between the 88, 69, 58, and 47. All these guys battling just outside of the top 10 here, as Chris Taylor will easily go around the top side. Has to be issues for the 88 of Dylan Jacobs. That car way off the pace out here today. As we see Jacobs now taking that car pit side. His night probably done here. As we take a look here, battle for P number 8, as Brandon Guerin will tiptoe around the inside of Nick Larson. Will be able to grab that spot, so that moves Guerin up into 8th, now up 5 spots from where he started. Makes him the second biggest mover to this guy right here, Stephen Holmes, with kind of a Days of Thunder-esque paint scheme on the number 90 Motorcraft machine. Holmes right now up 6 positions from where he started, up into P number 6. Guerin now ties as the biggest mover, as he was able to quickly get around Eli Raposa. And here we go, folks. Leaders in lap traffic. Gonna be a battle for the race lead before we know it. Christian Delgado continuing to lead the way, though. He has led all of the laps so far. The first 44 going to the 31 machine here. As well, though, keeping him on is keeping the pressure on that car here. A little bit further back, we see Stephen Holmes now up into the top 10, or top 5 now, excuse me, as he's able to get around the 42 of Dustin Coggins. So Holmes, another one of those cars that is getting, let's say, quicker relative to his competition as the run goes on. And I think it really comes down to how well you treated these tires here at the beginning of this run. And that is determining how you can continue to run here, because These guys, I think, will have to try and make it to right around lap 100, split this race in half if it does go green till the end, which it has a pretty good chance to do here tonight. Right in front of the leaders, Dan Dill able to get around Eli Raposa. Now Raposa will go one lap down to Christian Delgado. Rob Lowe right there in tow, so if Delgado can't get around the 81 of Dan Dill, that just leaves the top 10 on the lead lap. Yes, it will, as soon as these guys complete this pass. Now Delgado to the inside of Nick Larson, so now lapping inside of the top 10. Dan Dill's going to try and take advantage of the leaders going by the 2, and he will. So now the current lucky dog still stands as the 81 machine here, as quarter of the way down in this race. 51 laps in, 150 yet to go. We keep an eye on the battle for the race lead here. This is one of the best battles still on the speedway. Rob into the fence there a little bit in 1 and 2. Delgado doing a great job at defending. Now Delgado will go on up, take that momentum away just a little bit from the 21 machine. Hard battling now for the race lead. How does this shake on out? Side by side in contact there down the front stretch. These guys go door number to door number here off of turn number 2. The 21 of Lowell down low. It's Delgado up top. Still continued to drag race. That time advantage 31 of Delgado. He will get a great run through the corner. Doesn't get the run off though. Rob Lowe making this very difficult for Delgado up on the top side. They both make contact. They get stuck together. Rob Lowe goes around off the nose of the 31 machine and contact into the wall. And we get our second yellow flag. Oh man, the 21 gets popped there by, I think, the 47 machine. So put it out for the second time here tonight. Hard battling for the race lead. Kind of gone wrong here on lap 56. Now I think most cars will come in for tires. It looks like when that yellow came out, Dan Dill will be the lucky dog. So that will put 10 cars on the lead lap here tonight. As here down pit road, Delgado will lead the field down onto that here tonight. So it's going to be a very busy pit road out here tonight. As if I had to bet, it's probably going to be 4 tires and full of fuel out here tonight for at least this first pit stop for most of the field. Delgado away first, then it is Pogo, Barker, Larson, and then it is Holmes. Looks like the 21 machine staying out on the speedway, does not come in this time. Frank Zingen, involved in the first yellow flag of the night, will come in here a lap later. So interesting, it looks like maybe gave a different car the wave around here, because it looks like Dan Dill and Matthew Taylor both staying on out. We'll get the wave round here with 1 to go. So not sure who was the lucky dog then, if it wasn't the number 81 machine here. But here we go. Lights go off on the iRacing pace car. So that means one thing. We are going green next time by. We will re-rack, restack the field. And now 140 laps left in tonight's race. Restart number 2, Delgado leading the way, Jeff Pogo to his outside. Here we go, Delgado once again with a fantastic restart. He's able to run away by a half a second over Jeff Pogo. Johnny Barker, big time sideways there off of turn number 2, able to keep that race car underneath him and hang on to P number 3 here. Some drivers trying to be a little bit of some movers and shakers here before the end of this one. At the moment, with that caution flag coming out when it did, and how everything shook on out right now, biggest mover Justin Brannahan up 10 positions, trying to run down Dustin Coggins for a top 10. And then here we go, folks, battle for second. It is Johnny Barker and Jeff Pogo. Barker trying to go on the offense, able to clear the pass of the 97. So move Johnny Barker up into second. Can he start reeling down Christian Delgado like his teammate did there in that first stint? Alrighty, we are back here. Christian Delgado continues to lead the way here over Johnny Barker. Best battle on the speedway, though, here is between Chris Taylor and Brandon Guerin. This will battle and heating up for the 7th position here at the moment. Alrighty, in just that amount of time here from that restart, we have already clicked off another 10 laps here. So about for 10 laps, it's only 2.5 minutes. So someone can do that calculation there for 200 laps. If 10 laps is just times that by 20, I guess. 2.5 minutes there times 20. Should be right around 50 minutes here if this race goes green during the whole thing, but already have had 2 cautions, which isn't bad whatsoever, especially with a Bristol race, as you guys could bet, especially on iRacing when there's no consequences, no set of fear for the speed you're carrying around this very small and tight track. People tend to use the careless button a little bit too much at this track and use people on up. So anything under 5 yellows here at Bristol is always a great sign of a great race. As we look back at that battle, now getting very intense here as Guerin will look to the inside of Chris Taylor. Let's ride on board here with the number 1, see how he gets around the 69 machine and sets him on up. You can hear Taylor working that throttle up top, and you can see Guerin can get the advantage on corner entry into the middle, but then you can just see the run the 69 has off that top side of the speedway. That's why it's very good to defend from the top lane here if you can at Bristol. as Garen will go up to follow that line, try and get some of that momentum back just a little bit. Has some awesome camera shots here tonight. And an awesome camera pack here, as I don't know if I've mentioned it too often, but Track 22 Cams is where I get my camera packs from. And I tell you what, they have a lot of pretty nice cameras for a lot of different tracks for a pretty good price. Up towards the front here, Delgado got held up big time by Dan Dill there down the backstretch. That has allowed Johnny Barker to close up now to the inside for the race lead. Johnny Barker trying to take it away from Christian Delgado. They will drag race even down the backstretch now. Delgado has the momentum once again, able to hang on, but a very close call for the 31 machine, as he almost lost that race lead there. And best battle on the speedway is the one we're looking at here, folks. Battle for the race lead as Delgado tries to hold off Johnny Barker. And then don't look too far back here as Jeff Pogo has put the leader within a second gap. So Delgado, after the bobble there with the lap car of the 81, has been able to run away just a little bit from Johnny Barker, but here comes Delgado on two more lap cars. We'll see Delgado make quick work of the 8 of Taylor. Now we'll try on the 62. Barker will do the same. Further on back, Justin Branham under fire. Will allow the 69 of Chris Taylor to pass easily. Knows there's still a lot of time left in this race. It looks like we have 15 cars still out on the speedway. Looks like Ellis and Jacobs both out of the race here tonight. But still 15 out on the speedway. It looks like top 9 still on the lead lap. Might be 8 here right now because Christian Delgado just gets around the 62 of Frank Zingen. Zingen starting off to another tough night of a race here, being involved in caution number 1. Now find himself the lucky dog candidate. Battle for second now heating on up as Pogo has reeled in Johnny Barker to within a single car length. Pogo will get the nose to the high side of Barker, and this should be a pretty easy move for the 97. Yes, it will be. Jeff Pogo up into P number 2. And I tell you what, last time by, Jeff Pogo 15.15, Christian Delgado 15.40. The 97 is on rails. He saved his stuff, and he is flying now because of it. We head back a little bit further in the field here as Chris Taylor putting the pressure on Dustin Coggins. This will be a battle for a top 5 position here as Chris Taylor will have the advantage into turn number 3. Should be able to clear Coggins here by the time they get to turn number 1. and that he will. So Chris Taylor getting around the 42, now trying to bring along Justin Branham here for that 6th position. It looks like Branham will be able to get by as well. Delgado has jumped back down to the bottom side. Jeff Pogo still up top here. So it's going to be a dogfight for the race lead right around halfway in this race, because once they come to the stripe here off of turn number 4, it will be cross flags for these two. Halfway down, halfway home, and it looks like Christian Delgado will lead that lap. I think Delgado just needs to lead about 2 more laps, and he will lead the most laps here tonight. But it looks like Jeff Pogo will get on by. Yes, he will. Jeff Pogo will lead that lap here. As still side-by-side battle for the race lead. But here we go, lap traffic right in front. Dill will go right in the middle. That will hold up Delgado just that little bit. Jeff Pogo is clear. Jeff Pogo is out in front trying to set sail here at Bristol. So still have lapped up into 9th and behind. Everyone else still trying to ride out here on the speedway. Has been about 50 laps here once again since last time they pitted. So drivers starting to see the fall off, feel the fall off, because now times are a second or more slower than their best laps. So tire fall off definitely very, very huge. As after halfway here, Johnny Barker now starting to feel a little bit of pressure. This is from the 90 of Stephen Holmes. Holmes continuing to reel in Barker. Last couple times by. Holmes has been about a 10th or 2 faster. But Jeff Pogo has started to check out here out in front. And then Holmes has to be careful because Chris Taylor has reeled in that number 90 machine, and he is flying as well. So these guys all racing very, very respectfully here at the moment, but how long do you ride behind someone? Because especially while you have tires, you know it's got to be go time. If you saved your stuff, you're trying to find an opening, try and get that nose up in there. As here we go, Johnny Barker gets a piece of the wall. Holmes will look to the inside. Taylor's going to occupy the top side as the 90 left that wide open here. Right behind them, I believe Justin Branham under fire from the 21 machine. As these guys come off of turn number 4. And oh, the 21 once again gets turned in a very similar incident than the last one here. As it looks like Lowell will get turned once again. And I think once again a little bit of motion across the ocean kind of causing that. Both cars going to the same gap here as Jeff Pogo quickly on the brakes and quickly down on pit road. So once again, first 55 caution, now the next 55 another caution. These guys can technically make it to the end here on fuel and tires. We'll keep an eye at the end of pit road here, folks. See who wins the race off of pit road. Looks like off of pit road, Jeff Pogo wins that race. Christian Delgado in second, Johnny Barker third, Chris Taylor in fourth, Stephen Holmes rounding out the top five. So under the second flag, the third caution flag conditions, trying to count them on my hand, saying them out loud. Under the third caution flag here tonight, as the 21 machine involved in the last two. First one involving car number 62. And it looks like we still have 9 cars on the lead lap, so I believe it was the 2 of Nick Larson getting the lucky dog that time, and he is back on the lead lap here, so that moves 9 cars up on the lead lap. Jeff Pogo in charge of the restart will choose the inside lane here. Christian Delgado, first time here tonight, not leading on a restart. So here we go. iRacing pace car gonna make its way off of pit road. Well, onto pit road. And Jeff Pogo firing on off. He gets a decent start, but Delgado will stay right there with him. Delgado with a great run will cross over the 97. Side-by-side battle for our race lead here tonight. Further on back, lots of cars battling here. One car sideways. Oh, big time hit there. As it looks like Matthew Taylor coming in there, clobbering the 42. Not sure what caused that, but Coggins, the way he whipped around there, looks like probably did get some help. We see Matt Taylor down on pit road, so troubles, some more troubles for the number 8 car. As that will be the draw for our 4th yellow here tonight. And with that, Tim, glad to see you out there in the YouTube chat lands. How you doing on this Thursday? This is sadly not Martinsville. A little bit smaller, a little bit more round, and a lot more banking. The old last great Coliseum, Bristol Motor Speedway. And a revamped one at that, as you can see here. You know, looks pretty nice overall, you know. The fans look a little bit better. The walls definitely look a little bit better. And for sure, the lighting's a lot more realistic here, from the lights from the infield to the fence up top of the grandstands, as well as the iRacing pace car headlights look a little bit brighter. So Christian Delgado was able to get around Jeff Pogo on that restart. So top 5 will look like Delgado, Pogo, Barker, Chris Taylor, and then Stephen Holmes rounding out the top 5 here. And that is true, Tim. That's the other really cool thing. It just passed by on our screens there. That second stage platform there in the middle of 3 and 4 is open for cars to drive up onto and into victory lane here at Bristol. So hopefully the winner here tonight drives up there and we get to check that out. Yeah, we hopefully plan to. And Tim, if we ever get to go race here at Bristol, I think me or you know, need to go up there, see what kind of shenanigans we can get up to. But here we go. Lights are out on the iRacing pace car. Restart number 4 about to be underway. The field re-racked, restacked, and here we go. The iRacing pace car here will make its way down to pit road. Delgado here has been money on the restarts. He will, I think with that jump here, folks, he will make a 4 for 4 on the restarts. That 13/31 machine has been very sporty here on the restarts, as he will lead the way over Jeff Pogo. Johnny Barker able to get by himself up into 3rd position. Brandon Guerin and Justin Branham go side by side here down the backstretch, battle for that 7th position. At the moment, this 5800cars.com machine is the biggest mover of the race, up 8 positions if he loses the spot to Guerin, but still up 9 positions if he's able to hang on to it. And I think here in 3 laps, we let some cars do the talking. You know, I get to take a break here. My voice still not 100%, so it will, I think, definitely appreciate a little bit of a break. As Chris Taylor still holding off Stephen Holmes for that 4th position. So a great run for the Superflow 69 machine here tonight so far. Hopefully he can hang on to that as Nick Larson looking to the inside of Stephen Holmes. This is the battle for a top 5 as contact here. Holmes and Larson get together. They keep it facing in the right direction, so no caution flag. They will drop all the way down to 8th and 9th. The final cars on the lead lap, so a big mistake from those two. That will promote Branham up to 5th, Brandon Guerin to 6th, and then Dustin Coggins to 7th. Wow. Alrighty, with that kind of spaces out the field just a little bit more. So here we go. Let's have the cars do the talking in a little turn 3, turn it up. Definitely some awesome stuff out here as battle for our race lead concludes. Jeff Pogo has been able to take back over the point here. As wow, almost a big moment there as Pogo pretty much pushes Matthew Taylor into the corner there. Taylor trying to get out of the way. Pogo trying to guess which lane he wanted and almost guessed wrong, and that could have been big time bad, but Pogo out in front. Johnny Barker right on the coattails of the 97 machine. He will hang on here, trying to bring it home at least in a 2nd place. Would love to race down Pogo here and keeping him honest right within 2 car lengths. Christian Delgado's restarted with the race lead. Now back to P number 3, but he's the only car running this inside lane, so if this helps Delgado keep those tires underneath him, he may be looking pretty sporty here in these last 60 laps. Well, less than 60 laps now here, folks. And Chris Taylor here in the 69 having his best run of the season so far, up into P number 4, maybe looking for more as he closes in within a car length of Delgado for P number 3 here. A great battle for pretty much the top 4 here, folks. We had up in the stands here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Take a look what it's like to be a fan in the stands here watching this battle for the race lead. These 4 cars doing it on up here. Johnny Barker looking to the inside of the 97 of Pogo. Pogo has the momentum from the top lane, able to get back clear here. Barker will once again chase the 97 up top here, try and rebuild that little bit of speed that he lost, trying to rip the bottom. Looking a little bit lower here in the stands, going to be a nice shot down this front stretch here as these cars flying off these corners here tonight. Head back up to where we started the stream here tonight, up atop the spotter stand here to watch all 4 of these cars here, but specifically this battle for the race lead. Johnny Barker keeping Jeff Pogo honest. So top 5 here at the moment going Pogo, Barker, Delgado, Chris Taylor, and Justin Branham. Both Nick Larson and Stephen Holmes have not been able to recover from all that time that they lost. That time by here, folks. 50 laps to go left here tonight in the Bristol night race. This is, of course, race number 14 of 21 of the Riptide Radio Next Gen Cup Series. So this series starting to get ever so closer to the end of the season. Of course, last week's podium at Talladega looked like Brandon Guerin, Kenny Reel, and Jeff Pogo. Pogo, after last week, has been able to put up a 53-point advantage over Christian Delgado. Delgado, though, trying to make it as small as possible. He's doing that right now as he tries to battle back to P number 2. Him and Barker make contact last time by on the front stretch. This time by a lot cleaner, no contact that time. But here comes Chris Taylor to add another variable into this battle. Delgado losing that momentum just that little bit and costing that 31 machine as Barker able to keep it rolling up top. Now Chris Taylor trying to do the same, but Taylor will get a piece of the wall. Taylor trying to be high side hustling like the 6 car in front of him. Delgado still ripping the bottom. Will try and slam the door. They make big contact. Delgado trying to slam the door shut a little bit too late. That puts the 69 in the fence. Same with the 13. Now Taylor's loose off of turn number 4. His tires are hot, and that has allowed Johnny Barker to pull on away. We will have to see how these two decide to race here for the rest of this one, as Taylor big time into the wall there that time in 1 and 2. Further on back, though, I believe Dustin Coggins has chased down Justin Branham. And these guys side by side. This is a battle for P number 5 here tonight. So Coggins taking his time with those tires. Maybe the move here because everyone's pretty spread on out here at the moment. Could be a tall order to get a caution before this is all said and done. But even with that contact, both the 69 and 13 get into the wall. they have once again raced down Johnny Barker. And it looks like Taylor able to get around Delgado. Delgado will give him just a little bit of a nudge, move him up out of the way. These guys racing super hard for the third position. Man, oh man, some great racing here for a podium positions here tonight. Like I said, Chris Taylor having a season-defining run here tonight. Has had some awesome long run pace here, and so far making it continue to work. He could easily race his way up to a runner-up finish, which would be, I think, his first ever top 5 for sure podium finish of the season, which would be a huge vote of confidence. Of course, the 6 and 13 both racing kind of for the points. As it coming into tonight, like I said, Christian Delgado sits second in points. Johnny Barker sits fourth in points. And these two only separated by 14 points. Steve Ritter not able to make the call here. Sounds like he may be part-time in the rest of the season. So that is a tough break. So Ritter probably going to be out of points contention here, so that will probably put Johnny Barker up into third. So the 6 and the 13 or the 31 in the timing and scoring battling for second and third in points. Chris Taylor trying to battle for his best ever finish. And of course, next time by is only going to be 30 laps to go. Jeff Pogo has set sail. He has checked out into the sunset. He is long gone as long as these cars stay green and clean. Johnny Barker gets a big piece of the wall. He will bounce down to the inside lane. That leaves the preferred lane up to Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor has driven that 69 machine up into P number 2. What a heck of a drive. Christian Delgado once again back up to P number 3. And look at this, Dustin Coggins quickly catching these guys as they were battling. Coggins up into 4th, has relegated Johnny Barker to 5th. Man, oh man, a lot of great racing. And here we go, getting into the late stages of the race. I have to ride on board with Dustin Coggins. I mean, last couple laps, he has been the second fastest, if not the fastest car out on track. Let's see what Dustin Coggins is doing out here. You can see on the left side of your screen, last time by 15.61. That was the best time out of anyone out on track. Just a smidge faster than our race leader. That time by 15.66 for Coggins. Only car faster, Chris Taylor, a 15.47. Now Christian Delgado with a 15.46, so able to get a little bit of distance from Coggins as he does a 15.56. So you can just see the speed. If you hit that top side right, there is a lot of speed up there, but you have to be picture perfect to not make a mistake or hit the wall. So Coggins trying to work over Delgado for a podium finish here tonight. Further on back, it looks like Brandon Guerin has been able to get around the 58 of Justin Branham. So last week's winner up into P number 6 here with the countdown clock in full effect. Last time by, it is 22 laps to go here. This time by at the stripe will be 21 to go. Christian Delgado starting to figure something out, but I think it's more the case. Dustin Coggins walking away and finding some speed. So Coggins still having some great pace here with 20 to go. It's going to be a tall order to catch Chris Taylor, but that time Taylor about a tenth slower there, just in 1 and 2. So might have a battle for second here tonight between Chris Taylor and Dustin Coggins. Man, oh man, some great racing left here. Inside of 20 laps to go. As we take a look here, 69 machine of Dustin Coggins, a kind of drone-esque scheme, geez. I guess I'm apparently tired here, folks. As Dustin Coggins has dropped the gap between the 69 and the 42 to about inside half of a second here. Let's ride on board with Chris Taylor looking on back and see where Coggins is just finding the speed here. And well, at least that time into that corner there, folks. Coggins finding the speed on the bottom side. Oh, big time lap traffic there as Buell and Coggins make contact there. That almost sends Coggins pretty much entering on the apron. Now still back to kind of their normal-ish gaps. And yeah, it seems like Coggins just able to drive it in there just a little bit deeper and just having the shorter distance, making that car a little bit faster around the speedway here tonight. Further on back though here, Brandon Guerin, P number 1 last week, up into the top 5 here tonight. Brandon Guerin does get around Johnny Barker for 5th. As here we go, 12 laps to go left here tonight. Chris Taylor, Dustin Coggins, not done yet for the runner-up finishing position. Jeff Pogo though, check down out, 4-second advantage for the 97. Here comes Coggins looking to the inside of Taylor. Taylor has the run, will get clear here, but Coggins will sail it in there deep, keep his foot on the floor big time. Dustin Coggins hears that right front screaming, but he knows he has to use it on up. He only has to get 10 more laps left out of that right front. Both these drivers looking for their best ever finish here with the Riptide Radio Next Gen Cup Series. Who will muscle their way out of this one here? Come fight the beast at the Coliseum. These guys struggling to hang on to these race cars here, but 8 laps to go. They're trying to find the limit with a very worn race car. Last time these cars pitted 115, so almost 100 laps on these tires, and these guys duking it out for a runner-up finish. Still side by side, door number to door number. And with this, I think Jeff Pogo might be off the pace just a little bit, maybe saving his stuff, but these guys side by side have been able to catch our race leader. So that just shows you how hard these guys are driving, because still side by side. This time by for Jeff Pogo, we see 5 laps to go. And that time by half a car length advantage to Chris Taylor. Taylor starting to rock and roll on that high side, getting that momentum rolling. Coggins though will drive it on him. You can see his front brakes light on up here. He tries to make anything happen here with 4 to go. If I'm Coggins, I can see I'm starting to lose the drive off these corners. I have to enter right on his door, run the top side with him, run pretty much just a car length up, and then cut it on down the next corner. Try and clear yourself. Coggins will give Taylor a shot in the shorts there into turn number 1. Also further on back, Johnny Barker has been passed by Justin Brandenham and Stephen Holmes. And then Christian Delgado has fallen back to P number 5. Brandon Guerin up into P number 4 now. White flag is out for Jeff Pogo. He has set sail, and Jeff Pogo looking to make it 2 in a row. Chris Taylor able to get away here from Dustin Coggins, but at the stripe, Jeff Pogo wins 2 in a row, goes from the biggest track of Talladega Superspeedway. Actually, no, it's not 2 in a row. I don't know what I'm smoking here, folks, but it must be something good because last week's winner was Brandon Guerin. So Jeff Pogo walking away with, I should say, another win this season, as I believe this win here tonight makes it win number 4 of the season for Jeff Pogo. So a great run from Jeff Pogo, and I got to give a big shout out to the 69 machine of Chris Taylor holding off a hard charging Dustin Coggins, and that will round out the podium here as fireworks going on off of a great race here. 200 laps in the books, and don't go anywhere because next Sunday on the Turn 3 Racing Network, you can watch these guys, as long as I'm not sick or anything like that, for race number 15 at the Nashville Superspeedway for the Honky Tonk 200. Keeping the camera on Jeff Pogo because I'm interested to see him do some burnouts as well as see if he heads to that victory lane. So the 97 machine of Jeff Pogo burning it down here on the front stretch for win number 4 of the season. That's a great run here for Pogo, and I think he may be taking it to the infield. I do want to check out, see what this looks like here. With that being a new feature here at the Bristol Motor Speedway, just to see what it's like, you know. Yeah, looks like he will go that way, so Jeff Pogo gonna go up the ramp here at Bristol and park it down in victory lane. This is actually pretty cool here, folks. And Jeff Pogo here off of turn number 3, the 97 machine of Jeff Pogo down in victory lane here tonight at Bristol. That is definitely very, very cool out here tonight, folks. Chris Taylor in the 69 machine will finish second. Third, rounding out the podium finish out here tonight, will be Dustin Coggins. And I believe we have our 4th place finisher out here tonight. Maybe trying to have a word with us. I believe we have Brandon Guerin here on the line, so we'll try and get a word with our 4th place finisher here, Brandon Guerin. Hey Brandon, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here. Oh man, we're doing pretty good here. A exciting race there and especially at the end, Brandon. You tied for the biggest mover with 2 other drivers. I mean, that one car seemed to have some speed there at the end. I know it was a little bit ago, but tell me what you figured out and how you had such good tires there at the end, because it seemed like a massive fall off here at Bristol.
That last run when it started going long, Dustin was telling me rip the bottom. So that's what we went after, was the bottom, and really started hooking it there. And towards the end, a lot of people burnt their stuff up, so we got to gain some positions because we stayed green.
Yeah, and that was a long green flag run. I don't know if you remember, but do you remember what your tire percentage was there at the end or anything like that? I mean, how was the car feeling? Was it still feeling all right, or could you tell that the tires were definitely starting to go away with that long of a run?
If I ripped the bottom good enough, it worked really good. So if I missed the bottom just enough, like I would start to push. So as long as I ripped that bottom, it was really good. but I
Yeah,
don't remember exactly what they were at. They were pretty worn up though.
man, that's awesome to hear. So yeah, you go from winning Talladega, then biggest track of the season. Then we head down to the smallest track of the season. I mean, how much of a different game plan did you have to go into tonight, especially knowing that's a little bit of a race of attrition here at a short track like Bristol?
Well, I think when we talked last week after the Talladega race, I was like, I just want to finish about 7th or 8th. I didn't really have high expectations, so I feel a lot better about what happened here.
Yeah, I mean, overall, a pretty decent night up into the top 5, finishing P number 4. Can't complain at that one, and especially that pace you had at the end there. I was very impressed to see that one car boogieing through that field like you were.
Yeah, it was hooked up there at the end, and I mean Dustin's the one that kind of helped me with hooking up the line, and I mean you saw he was definitely the fastest guy on track, so
Yeah,
we had a little something going there.
he definitely had something figured on out. And then of course, Brandon, tonight a special night, Showtime 200, getting some special paint schemes. You gave us a little bit of a teaser of the car coming out here. Another great looking paint scheme, Brandon, I have to say.
Yeah, the Joker came out looking pretty good, and I don't usually like green or purple on my cars, but something about it made it look really good.
Yeah, that it did looked really good under the lights, especially under the new revamped remodel lights here at Bristol. I mean, did it look any different in the car? Of course, the walls are different now with the update, but was there anything else that kind of seemed off or wasn't quite the same as you're once used to?
We raced so many races during the day. It's like I don't know. I haven't noticed the difference in like the lighting at a night race because it's been so long since we've had like a night race. So it's not something I really noticed a lot, but I noticed a lot of pictures that people are taking on iRacing right now. They look way better with night racing. So maybe that's something we got to try to get into with the 802 is a little bit more night races.
Yeah, full night looks pretty nice, but I tell you what, there's still a little bit of a weird point in when it transitions from day to night. Some shadows can get very goofy
Yeah.
very quickly, I can say.
I saw some images of the glare at Homestead coming up soon. I'm like, oh my god, if that really happens.
Yeah, if you want
But
another bad glare, go boot up old Atlanta, try and drive down the front stretch. It's like a sheet,
nah,
like a mirror.
I'll pass on all the bad views.
Yeah, but yeah, Brandon, once again, big congrats on the 4th here tonight. And, next week heading into kind of a tricky track, kind of like this, except a little bit bigger scale wise. Nashville Super Speedway. How's your outlook for that place?
I'm gonna tell you the same thing probably as last week. We're gonna shoot for 7th, 8th where I feel comfortable, and then if we end up with a top 5, that's a good day to me. So, like I think we said last week, I was telling you my goal would be the top 5 in points, and we're getting there. So
Yeah,
we're
that you
stringing
are.
we're stringing some stuff together here, and it's been some good runs the last few weeks.
Yep, and the first step is starting to string them together, and that's what you're doing here, Brandon. So, once again, congrats on the 4th place position. Before we let you go and celebrate that, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank here from Bristol Motor Speedway.
I'll thank my kids once again, Bryson and Brody. I'm gonna thank the Penny Stacker Motorsports team, Barstool Sports, Body Armor, 47 Brand, Rubbers Racing Podcast, of course you putting on the broadcast, and everybody in the league. So yeah, another good run for the old one car.
Yeah, that it was. And once again, have to thank you guys for being understanding for the delayed broadcast. And more importantly, you guys hanging on out, probably tuning on into the broadcast and then jumping in and chatting with me. It definitely is really cool to be chatting with drivers here, even on the full race replay.
Yep. I happened to see, I was like, I don't see anybody in the waiting booth, so I'll hop on even though I was 4th, and then I see the other 2 are down in the pre-race one. So I dragged them up. They should be in the waiting room ready for you. I think we got Dustin and Pogo both in there.
Awesome stuff. Well, Brandon, once again, you have yourself a great rest of the night, and I think you're actually not done talking here tonight. Real quick,
Oh.
what are you guys up to here tonight?
Me and Rob got the weekly 802 podcast coming back up. We've missed, I want to say, the last month or so with Rob transitioning between his shifts at work and getting a new computer set up, I believe. So we're gonna get that going again. And I'm not gonna lie to you, Brett. Right now, I'm doing a heat race for dirt modified, and we're all in iRacing all day today. So we're
Um,
racing as I'm giving you a live interview.
oh man, all right, Brandon. Well, we'll let you get fully focused on that heat race. Good luck in that dirt stuff, and
Yeah,
we'll talk to you later, my man.
yeah. Thank you, Brett. Have a good one.
Yep, you as well. That was our fourth place finisher, Brandon Guerin. Now we'll head to our third place finisher here in the waiting booth. It is the 42 machine of Dustin Coggins. Dustin, you got a copy of Spread the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Alrighty, my man. That was a great run from Bristol from yourself. I mean, there at the end, running your way through the field up to Chris Taylor. Couldn't quite get the pass done, but man, what a awesome battle between you and the 69 there at the end.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, man. I kind of screwed myself up on that last caution when I spun out or got loose and messed my car up, had to pit, started at the end of the line with the lap cars behind me, and then I had to come back up through the field. And I don't know if I'd have started where I was supposed to, which probably ran around fourth or fifth, somewhere around in there on that restart, man. I don't know. I don't know if I could have got to Jeff, because I know I was faster than he was, if not the same. But it was fun. I enjoyed racing behind. I can't remember the Taylor. But man, me and him had a good race. I pushed him off in the corner once or twice just to see, how he would react. And after that, I just kind of ran and hopefully he'd mess up. But if you're running up there on that wall, man, you really have to mind your P's and Q's. And I'm on the bottom, so I just have to make sure I don't overdrive it. And I can blow my corner and ruin both of our races. So.
Yeah, and that inside lane, we didn't see too many people running it, and it really surprised me. We didn't see too many people running it at the beginning of the race. Why do you think that was? What made the top side so good, and how did you figure out something to have the bottom side rolling like that, especially late in a run?
Man, after the first that first green flag run we had, I said I was just gonna run the top, and my other teammates were gonna pretty much just run the bottom and see. And they had a lot more tire left than I did. So what I did, man, is I just kind of adjusted my line and ran the bottom and figured out how to put some decent laps down. And once I figured it out, how to run in there and stay on the bottom and not kill my stuff, I was pretty good. And I just kind of saved until the end. Like the last 30 laps, I really started going.
Yeah, and going you did. I think in those last 30 laps, what'd you make up about, I want to say 4 positions, if not for sure 3, right?
Yeah, I had one little problem I think with a lap car. He kind of I was committed to the bottom, and he kind of went to the bottom, but I was already there, and I knew if I jerked up high, it'd have just been worse more than likely. So I just stayed down there, and it got me on the apron and probably lost a few. But some other guys I think kind of ran a little too hard up top, and fried their tires, man. And once you do that on these concrete tracks, it's game over. You can't turn, you can't get on the gas. You're pretty much just coasting around here.
Yeah, that definitely seemed like that the case here tonight. Is once those tires went away, you were dropping like a rock.
Yeah, they don't like to be heated up. I really like the short track stuff better than I do these intermediates. I've gotten better at the intermediates, but when I first got iRacing, man, I got it just for dirt stuff. So I've ran a lot of dirt stuff on it, and then I kind of migrated and started doing NASCAR more or asphalt oval stuff. So I hardly ever run dirt now, except for just fun with my friends. But it teaches you a lot of throttle control and how to position your car in the corner and stuff and drive around people.
Yeah, that it does. It does add a good taste of that, really close racing on the dirt, and especially with the cars being, not quite unpredictable, but you really have to be certain on what you're doing in the car because you're not quite all the way certain what people are doing on the dirt side of things, depending on how they hit even their line that they're running.
Yeah, you don't, and when I run dirt cars, man, on here, I don't. 95% of the time, I don't run a mirror just because it messes you up more than it does anything. And sometimes even on short tracks here, I'll run a mirror. I'll run my mirror off just so I don't look back. Especially in like a league where I know the drivers. So it makes it a lot where you can really focus on what you're doing and you're not concerned about what's going on behind you.
Wow, that is definitely awesome realism. I've always wondered how a league would be without mirrors because, people always tend to mirror watch, especially do some blocks, clear themselves when, you're not 100% clear. If you turn off the mirrors, I wonder if people really do back it down. And like you said, I'm sure it helps a lot with the concentration because you can get distracted very easily. And, especially here on iRacing, all it takes is one little mistake and, that could be the end of your race.
Yeah, you're exactly right, man. You can, especially when you're running somewhere like Bristol, where you're running such high speed and the corners are banked, man. You run up there and hit the wall, then you're coming down the racetrack flying, and then somebody's gonna nail you because you really can't see around the corner, so you're that well.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. So, Dustin, I'm going to go call you the short track ace of at least the 802 Riptide Radio Next Gen series for this season because I was looking through the stats. Some of your best finishes coming into tonight were at short tracks like Iowa, other short tracks like that. And then tonight here, first podium of the season. I mean, how does that make you feel overall with the season, knowing that, heading in the right direction as the season goes on?
It makes me feel good, man. I mean, I've had some really good races. I had, and most of them were short tracks, and some things happen, and it didn't just quite work out. But sometimes, man, it happens. It's racing. That's real life racing and on here. But it's fun. It's a good group of guys in here that do this. Everybody races each other with respect, man. I mean, you can get on these official races, which I like to do from time to time, and you lose track of how nice it is to have a league full of good people that can actually drive.
Yeah, that is definitely the case. I know exactly what you're talking about there, Dustin. So, for the first time for me chatting with you here on a post race, I believe I always like to ask the driver, what do you got for a sim setup? What do you got for wheel pedals? What are you looking at? All that good stuff as well.
I've got Fanatec V3 pedals. I got an 8 Newton meter direct drive, and I just got the standard wheel, the standard circle wheel that Fanatec gives you. And my rig, I actually built it out of wood, and I got a dirt late model seat from my buddy that races. So I built it all myself. I kind of custom fit it for how his dirt car felt when I used to sit in it and help him weigh it out and stuff. So it's very comfortable. It's pretty nice, man. I've kind of added some stuff to it, but it's nothing real fancy, of course, like what some of these guys have. I just run on I run a 34-inch ultra wide monitor, and that's it, man. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah, pretty solid setup though, and like you said, comfortability and consistency can be a big factor. I know I always struggle just a little bit with it. I race in a rolling chair. I mean, being comfortable and having everything the same does come into a factor for you to be kind of feeling comfortable quicker in a new car, maybe whether that's a same car at a new track or a new car at a track.
Yeah, it's nice, man. The ergonomics of it definitely help. Everything is kind of where it's supposed to be. I know when I first built it, man, I'm 39, so my knees would start hurting, and I'd have to get up, and I couldn't really even run like an official A class NASCAR race before my legs would start hurting so bad from my knees because I used to ride motocross when I was younger. But it definitely helps now. I can sit here for all day pretty much and play and race and only get up to go do the necessities. But it does help, and it's comfortable, and it helps with the wheel too. I can remove my wheel and get in and out of it because it's pretty hard to get in and out of.
Yeah, I bet that quick connect makes it nice to slide in and out of that thing, because if not, that thing's probably right in the way, especially like you said, you have the full rim attachment as well.
Yep, I'm pretty close to 6 feet tall, so I mean, this when I'm like all my friends come over and look at it, and they tell me there's no way you get in and out of that.
Nice and tight, just like a real race car cockpit, right?
Yep, you have to just about slide in and pull yourself out. So
sounds about right. Well, Dustin, it was great chatting with you here post race. Thanks again for coming on board, waiting in the waiting room, and of course, chatting with me on and off nights. So really do appreciate that. Before we let you go and celebrate this podium position for you in the 42, I'm going to go hand over the mic one more time to you and thank who you got to thank, whether maybe people tuning in at home, some of those teammates, or maybe some sponsors that help you get the job done here for a podium.
Yeah, man, my wife, she lets me do this when I want to. It's a great stress relief for me. From work, I come in here in my room and close my door and I race, and I don't really get bothered. Thank them and my daughter. She's 8. She always watches me race. She'll come in here and ask me when I'm racing, where am I at? Um, so it's always fun, for her to watch it too. And guys at Penny Stackers Motorsports, man, we got a pretty strong team. We had a decent run going. I know Brandon ended up 4th, so we're getting there. We're improving definitely. Kenny couldn't make it. I can't remember what he said he had going on. But it was fun. I enjoyed the short tracks. I don't know if Kenny just don't like them or what, but there's no telling. And you, man, for doing your broadcast, it's I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I could do a race that's already happened, to be honest with you.
It's definitely a little weird because I at least didn't look at the standings to see who won, but it's definitely weird to go in it knowing that these guys aren't actually racing and the outcome's already predetermined.
Yeah, that's what I was telling my wife. She when I got done, I said, "Well, I ran 3rd." She said, "Are you serious when it's not even done or when it's not broadcast?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "But he's gonna redo it. He's gonna do it another day when he has time because he's sick." But I'm glad you're feeling better, man. I don't know if you have kids or not, but ever since mine started going to school, man, they're always bringing home something, and it don't take long.
Oh, I bet that's the case. Look, I should say, don't have kids here at the moment, but there's something going around the springtime. There's some bad bug going around because I got that. It was like Friday and it wiped me out. Yeah, till about last night. I was like, holy smokes.
Yep, I know your pain, man. I got it for about a week too, but I'm glad you're feeling better. We appreciate it. You and the series here that puts all this on, and Rob and them. We appreciate having somewhere to race and having a good league that ran really good.
Yeah, Dustin, and that goes for you. Thank you for the applause there. And, we got to thank you for showing up, especially on and off night chat with me, as well as showing up weekly to be a part of the show, put on the action-packed racing that we can all enjoy. So, Dustin, you, my man, have yourself a great rest of the night. Go celebrate the 3rd place. I'm sure you have before, but feel free to celebrate it like it happened the first time here tonight.
All right. Thank you, Brett. You have a good one, man.
All right, thanks. You too, Dustin. Have a good one. All righty, folks, and now we head down. We have our race winner. That's right, folks. We have the 97 machine. It is Jeff Pogo. Jeff, do you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Brett.
All righty, I know. Made you wait long enough here. And how are we feeling? You were able to drive up to victory lane. We got to start there. I mean, how cool was that's now a thing on iRacing?
It's cool, but I was afraid I was going to get stuck because I kind of went full send up the ramp.
Yeah, because I could see this thing bottoming out right when you crest the top or something, get you stuck, and you're like, man, did all that just to end up stuck here?
Yeah, I didn't even know where the ramp was to get up there. Steve had to tell me, so I definitely was not planning on being the one to get there tonight.
Yeah, but when things are all said and done, you're able to get the job done, taking over the lead right after the halfway mark. So, I mean, how were you able to get the job done? How'd you have that pace and then kind of check on out, set sail, and pick your way through that lap traffic? Because even though a nice, comfortable gap, it still wasn't an easy win when it's all considered.
No, and then I only had about 9 minutes of practice because I was trying to finish the end of the cup race before this went to qualifying. So, and I don't know if you noticed, but I was a second off the pace. First time I'd ran a next gen here. So I was kind of lost going into the race, and then once I got in there, I kind of just used the first half of the race to figure out the car, kind of watch what other people were doing, pick a line, and kind of learn what to do. I'm not fast in these cars on a short run ever. That's why I've never gotten a pole so far this season. But long run's definitely where I tend to shine.
Yeah, and that you did here tonight. you took over the lead, led on the restart. Then Christian Delgado with a nice crossover move takes it away. Get another restart, and I assume you thought the same thing as you did the round before. Take your time, make a clean pass, and then start checking on out if you can.
Yeah, I even told my teammates when we took the green flag, um, Barker and Delgado, man, like just going into turn one, they pulled like 2 cars on me instantly. And I told myself there's no way that they're gonna be able to hold that pace. They're gonna burn their stuff up. And then I like running the wall anywhere that there's a line up there. So I just figured I'd try to stay up there, keep as little amount of wheel in it as possible, and just go from there.
Yeah, and that worked out well there by the end of that one, Jeff. It seemed like your pace falling a little bit there at the end. Were you just saving your stuff, or was the car really starting to go away a little for you? And how was it feeling there at the end after 100, I should say almost 100 laps on a set of tires?
It actually didn't feel bad. Once I got out to the 4 second lead, I kind of just backed it down a little bit and kind of just maintained my my pace and the gap. But then I know you didn't catch it in the broadcast, but at like 10 to go, I was going to pass Steve Holmes, and he actually missed the bottom, and he just clobbered me into the outside wall. So from then on, I was actually, there's only what 8 laps left in the race. My steering was about 2 o'clock, so it was off, and I just had to try to get to the end. I was just waiting to see the black meatball.
Wow, yeah, that's definitely a scary moment then for you at the end of that one, because that whole race could have gone up in smoke, like you said, with that meatball flag coming out for you.
Yeah, luckily that didn't happen, and I had a big enough of a gap that I could afford that little issue. But if those guys on that last restart, whenever Barker and Coggin and who else was it? Was it Chris? Yeah, Chris Taylor. When those three started battling each other, that's when I pulled away from them. If it wouldn't have been for that, I don't think I would have walked away with it by any means.
Yeah, but with you walking away with it, Jeff, that's your fourth win of the season. Now giving you a 2-win buffer over Kenny Reel, and as well as walking away here tonight, 59 points above second in points. We have to be feeling pretty good here, but still, I think, what is it now? 6 races left in the schedule. I think 7.
Yeah, something like that. I'm actually gonna try to pull it up here. Yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 left.
Yeah, so 7 left. Most wins on the season so far, having that advantage, having that momentum, as well as a decent points buffer, have to be feeling pretty good because, even Nashville Speedway, another concrete, kind of drives like a short track, so that could be in your wheelhouse there. Definitely going to be a tire saver because if you overdrive that place, that right front's going away in a hurry.
Yeah, I don't think I ran too many races there. I know in a different league that I was in, we ran a truck race there, and I was up front like top 2, 3 most of the night. Then I made a mistake pitting, which put me in the back. So I expect to be decent there. And then the following week we're at Homestead. I expect to run decent there. That's one of my favorites and better tracks. And then, Michigan should be another good one for me. Vegas. Don't really know how I feel about Richmond. Um, Gateway, I'm probably not that great either. But I don't know. A couple good racetracks coming up, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely that will be the case. And we had a revamp Bristol after the last update. Was there any difference you noticed, especially kind of the shaders or the lights here? Because it looked a little bit different on the broadcast. The lights seemed a little bit more pronounced. Did you notice anything, or was it another day in the race car for you?
I really haven't ran enough at Bristol to pay that close attention, but I did notice the lighting was a little bit different, and it seemed like the groove on the top, on the actual track, like the surface, seemed like it was a little more pronounced. So I don't know if that was due to the update or if it's just me not really running here and not really paying attention to it.
Okay, good to know. I'll try and keep an eye out for that line here with other cars here at Bristol, see if I see it as well. So thanks for the heads up, Jeff. But overall, my man, picking up the win number 4. Have to be feeling pretty good walking away from Bristol with that. So, Jeff, we won't keep you around too much longer here. But before we let you go and celebrate in victory lane, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you. And, of course, thank who you got to thank, whether on the broadcast, on the car, of course. Actually, real quick, with the car, running a different scheme here tonight. Real quick, what'd you choose and why'd you choose it?
I just chose to run the Hoonigan paint on there. I know this was a movie theme tonight, I think, wasn't it? So I consider all the Hoonigan stuff on YouTube. They're little movies, so I figure I'll just stick with that. So I'm a big Ken Block, Travis Pastrana fan, so just kind of my little nod to them.
Yeah, an awesome scheme, and like you said, a nice nod to some absolute wheelmen. It seems like those guys could jump into anything and wheel them to the absolute limit. Love to see anything those guys produce. So, a great nod to the content that those guys created that all of us car guys can enjoy.
Yep, for sure.
Alrighty, Jeff. Well, with that, now we'll let you get to who you got to thank, whether on the car, with the car, teammates, people watching, and of course, for win number 4 of the season. The mic is yours.
I gotta thank you for doing this. I know you haven't been feeling good this past week, so appreciate you sticking in there and doing this when you didn't have to. Rob and everybody putting on the league, and everybody just racing clean this week. So a couple weeks left. Want to keep it up, and we're gonna see if we can't close this out with at least two. I'd like to see at least 2 more wins, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think definitely in the cards for you, especially with those tracks you have circled on the schedule. So, Jeff, you have yourself a great rest of the night. If you haven't partied already with this win, for sure party it up tonight for yourself. And you, my man, I'm sure we'll be talking to you again here in the near future. But here tonight, have yourself a great rest of the night.
All right, buddy, you too.
Alrighty, folks, that was our race winner, Jeff Pogo, parking it down in victory lane for the 4th time of the season. So that will do it here tonight for the post-race interviews, and I say let's head on over, see if we can get the race results to load. Yes, we can. So here we go. Here's how things ended for the ShowTime 200 at Bristol Motor Speedway for the Riptide Radio Next Gen Cup Series. Jeff Pogo picking up win number 4 of the season. Chris Taylor finishing in P number 2. Best finish of the season for Taylor in the 69. That can be the same for our 3rd place finisher. We got a chance to chat with him tonight. It is the driver of the 42. It is Dustin Coggin. So big congrats to those guys as well. Brandon Guerin's last week's winner will finish in 4th in the 1 car. And then to round out the top 5, it will be Christian Delgado piloting the 31 machine. 6th place going to Stephen Holmes in the 97th, going to Justin Branham in the 58. 8th is Johnny Barker in the 6th. 9th, Frank Zingen in the 62. And then to round out the top 10, it is Nick Larson in the 2. P number 11 going to John Buell in the 47. 12th, Rob Lowell in the 21. 13th is the 46 of Eli Raposa. 14th, Dan Dill in the 81. 15th, the 8 car of Matthew Taylor. 16th is the 99 Tiffany Ellis. And then rounding out the field here tonight, Dylan Jacobs in the 88 machine. So that will do it here tonight. One last thing I have to mention is, of course, the sponsors here in the league. That QR scanner will take you to the Riptide Radio app. Be sure if that interests you, that can let you download it. Listen to the best beach and boogie music here from Ocean Drive, North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So once again, got to give a big thanks to Riptide Radio with the support, of course, as well as Leaf Guard for the Pull Award and Brandon Guerin with BG Graphix for a points fund. Also got to thank some other associate sponsors, Out of the Woods Crafts, GStone Motorsports and Stone Dealerships, as well as DTL Customs. So that would do it here tonight for me in the booth. I've been Brett the Jet. Be sure to tune in this Sunday at 7 o'clock for the Nashville Super Speedway race. You won't want to miss that race. Number 15 coming at you live. Also, Turn 3 is partnered with Premier Setup Shop, so you can find a link in the description down below. That'll take you to Premier. That shows their support of us supporting them. I think that makes sense. Hopefully that does. If not, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm getting too rambly over here. So once again, got to give a shout out to Premier. Got to give a shout out to all you guys that tune on in for a race replay. Have to really appreciate you guys and tuning on in. All the replay viewers tuning on here after the fact. Big shout out to Tim Riders coming in chat, hanging out with us as well. So everyone take care, stay safe, have a great rest of your week, and we will catch you in just a few days on Sunday for race number 15. I've been Brett the Jet in the booth, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.